What's good, fam? Drake just took the ultimate loss by suing his own record label because he cannot deal with the fact that Kendrick Lamar is officially the 2024 Artist of the Year. Watching a man who spent 10 years hiding behind Billboard charts suddenly claim the math is rigged is some of the nastiest work I have ever seen in this industry. On November 25th, 2024, his company, Frozen Moments LLC, filed a massive petition against Universal Music Group and Spotify to try and stop the bleeding. The beef officially moved from the recording booth to the courtroom as soon as Not Like Us became the fastest rap song in history to reach 700 million streams on Spotify.
This man Kendrick is on there talking about, I hate the way that you talk, the way that you walk, I hate the way that you dress. And as you all know, I enjoy hatred and darkness. I need that. Even Apple Music favorite Kendrick Lamar, they highlighted the one part in the Not Like Us song where he was like, minor. How much money has Drake made for Apple Music? And they pick a side like that?
He is out here claiming that Universal used Payola and deceptive marketing to fake Kendrick's numbers just to ruin his career. This is such a sore loser move for a guy who spent a decade telling every other rapper that the statistics never lie. As soon as the data stopped favoring him and showed the world moving on, he decided the entire industry was a fake setup. It looks incredibly desperate for someone who used to flex his streaming plaques every morning to turn around and sue the people who actually issued them. He is actually trying to argue that the biggest song of the summer only worked because a computer program forced people to hit play. For years, we had to hear that Drake was the king of the metrics and the god of the algorithm. But now that Kendrick has snatched the crown on those same platforms, he wants a recount.
That's him hinting that Drake tried to legally block Like That from dropping. Imagine getting dissed so bad you call your lawyer. That's wild. And that You Ain't Like That record punchline flips from legal talk to street talk.
This legal filing is basically a confession that Drake cannot compete with the cultural energy Kendrick has tapped into right now. Instead of getting in the booth to drop a hit that actually connects, he is hiring lawyers to litigate his way back to the top of the mountain. It is a pathetic look for a guy who once claimed he was untouchable in this industry. He is basically telling the world that he thinks his fans are too stupid to choose what they want to hear without Universal Music Group pulling the strings in the background. The irony is thick because for years, people accused OVO of using those exact same tactics to stay relevant.
If you ask me, so far Kendrick is winning, but y'all let me know in the comments, man.
Now that Kendrick is the one dominating every playlist and every club, Drake is having a complete breakdown in the legal system. This is the moment where the numbers officially turned into his greatest enemy, and he has no idea how to handle the rejection from the public. The details in this legal filing show just how much Kendrick is living in his head without paying a single cent of rent. Drake claims that Universal actually paid Spotify to force feed Not Like Us to users through autoplay and discovery mode, even when they never searched for the track. He is also incredibly mad that Universal did not step in to stop Kendrick from calling him a pedophile in the lyrics, which his legal team is now calling a targeted defamation campaign.
I don't think Drake is equipped with enough ammunition for this fight. Drake is making short jokes. Kendrick is slinging predator accusations. If I was Drake, I would just start capping I'll just start making stuff up.
It is wild to see a rapper who has built a career on subliminal shots suddenly cry about someone else being too mean in their verses. Universal Music Group fired back on November 26, 2024 by calling his claims offensive and completely untrue. They stood by their ethical standards and basically told their biggest star that he needs to take his loss like a man. Suing your own distributor is a complete kamikaze mission that makes no sense for a long-term career. Drake is effectively burning down the very house that built his entire empire just because Kendrick moved into the master bedroom and locked the door. Industry experts like Charlemagne the God are already calling this a massive desperation move that only serves to prove Kendrick's victory is absolute.
That you walk, the way that you talk, I hate the way that you dress. That wasn't just hate talk, that was culture talk. That was a man drawing a line between what's real and what's rented.
If you have to go to a judge to argue that people do not actually like a song that the entire world is screaming in the club, you have already lost the war. This legal battle is basically a participation trophy that Drake is trying to buy for himself because he cannot accept the reality of 2024. He is alleging that Universal basically prioritized Kendrick at his expense, which is a hilarious admission of his own declining value at the label. When you are the top dog, the label moves for you, but it looks like Universal has realized where the real cultural power lies. By trying to sue Spotify and Universal at the same time, he is alienating the very people who control his distribution in his bag.
Is that what he's talking about?
Cash Money is an affiliate of the big bad UMG. You know who runs it? Kanye talked about it. Lucian. That's where he's going with that one.
This move shows that the beef has moved past music and into the space where Drake is just trying to protect his brand from total collapse. Drake understands that if the world views Kendrick as the real winner, his crown as the industry top dog is finished for good. This legal battle is a desperate attempt to throw shade at Kendrick's numbers, but it only makes Drake look like he is losing his mind. Targeting the discovery mode feature proves he is terrified that the new generation is finding music that does not have his name on it. He wants to believe Kendrick is a corporate plant because his ego cannot handle the fact that people actually prefer K-Dot. Aubrey is acting like a sore loser who unplugs the console when he gets smoked in Madden just so the final score stays hidden.
I don't need y'all. This shows how fake the industry is, man. No loyalty at all. Drake is gonna realize how many people only liked him because he was popular. These industry people don't have souls, man.
He is destroying relationships with the same executives who helped him become a billionaire simply because he cannot stand seeing Kendrick get his flowers. We have never seen this level of petty in hip-hop, and watching a legend fall apart like this in public is honestly embarrassing. Kendrick did more than win a rap battle. He shattered Drake's entire understanding of how the music industry actually works. While Drake is busy crying to his lawyers and filing paperwork, Kendrick is out here grabbing the kind of trophies that the culture respects. Apple Music officially named Kendrick their Artist of the Year on December 5th, 2024, which is a massive tech giant telling Drake his streaming complaints mean nothing. Kendrick dominated the streets and then backed it up with 7 Grammy nominations for the 2025 ceremony. He is sitting in the major categories like Record of the Year and Song of the Year for a diss track that essentially exiled the whole OVO camp.
That you walk, the way that you talk, I hate the way that you dress. That wasn't just hate talk, that was culture talk. That was a man drawing a line between what's real and what's rented.
It is a wild contrast to see Kendrick being praised by corporate giants while Drake is calling those same partners cheaters in illegal filing. Drake decided not to submit any of his solo work for the Grammys this year, which is a huge retreat for a man who used to crave that validation. He probably knows that the Recording Academy would wash him just as bad as the Billboard charts did if he faced Kendrick right now. Producer Mustard is also getting his recognition with these nominations, proving that the West Coast movement is the new standard for success in this game. This is a complete shift in who the industry views as the real leader of hip-hop rather than just a hype moment for one song. While Aubrey cries about discovery algorithms and autoplay settings, the actual gatekeepers are busy crowning Kendrick as the undisputed king of 2024. It is pathetic to see Drake try to sabotage the platforms Kendrick is using to reach the world while he sulks in a corner about Payola. Kendrick being honored by Apple and the Recording Academy makes Drake's legal claims look like a desperate reach for the relevance he already lost.
To me, it just sounded like he was trying desperately to get them on his side. See, that's that golden retriever shit. You wanna be my friend? You wanna be my friend?
The truth is that nobody had to force the world to love Kendrick this year because the music was simply better than anything Drake put out. Before we move on and see how Kendrick is about to turn the Super Bowl into a West Coast victory lap, tell me what y'all think about these legal games Drake is playing. Is he really a victim of the algorithm, or is he just out here making excuses for getting outplayed? Tell me in the comments. No cap. While you at it, like and subscribe, and let's continue. The real end for the boy arrives on February 9th, 2025, when Kendrick Lamar steps on that stage to headline Super Bowl Lean in New Orleans. This is the ultimate victory lap, and no amount of legal filings or crying in court can stop this from happening on the world stage. People are still talking about that Juneteenth pop-out concert in December because that was the exact moment the West Coast officially evicted the OVO Owl. Kendrick's run is not just a Twitter narrative, since the Billboard charts showed that Not Like Us sat at the top of the Hot Rap Songs chart for 21 weeks. Drake tried to fight back with The Hard Part 6, but that track never touched the top spot, while Kendrick secured 2 #1 hits in the same year. The public has made its final choice, and nobody is buying the excuses Drake is trying to sell to the judicial system right now. This lawsuit will probably be dismissed with prejudice, which is going to leave Drake completely cut off from his own label and the rest of the industry.
Is that what he's talking about?
Cash Money is an affiliate of the big bad UMG. You know who runs it? Kanye talked about it. Lucian. That's where he's going with that one.
He is really gambling his entire relationship with the Universal Music Group. At the same time, Kendrick is preparing to perform for hundreds of millions of people. Drake is turning himself into a persona non grata in the very buildings where he used to be the golden child who could do no wrong. When February rolls around, Drake will be the guy who tried to sue his way out of a loss, while Kendrick headlines the biggest night in sports. West Coast energy has taken over the global narrative, and Drake looks more like a bitter ex-employee than a reigning rap superstar. He is fighting a war against the same corporate machines he used to brag about controlling, which is the definition of a fall from grace. Every time Kendrick wins another award or lands a major partnership, Drake's legal petition looks more like a frantic cry for help from a sinking ship. He is burning bridges with the people who write his checks because he cannot stand to see another man wearing the crown he thought he owned for life.
If you ask me, so far Kendrick is winning, but y'all let me know in the comments, man.
Drake is the only person who cannot seem to read the writing on the wall. Choosing to be a litigant instead of a legend is a bad look, and the culture will never forget how he handled this defeat. Drake built his entire empire on the idea that he was a stat king who could never be dethroned because his numbers were too massive to ignore. He spent years laughing at artists with more critical acclaim or street respect, since he could always point to a chart or a streaming total to prove his power. Kendrick Lamar has proven that cultural impact and a genuine connection with the people will beat a bot farm or a corporate playlist every single time. By alleging that Spotify is manipulating data to favor Kendrick, Drake is accidentally opening a door that might expose how the industry worked for him for years. If a label can just buy 700 million streams for an artist, then every record Drake has ever broken is suddenly under a dark cloud of suspicion. He is basically telling on himself and suggesting his own success might have been manufactured by the same corporate hands he is now trying to bite.
Is that what he's talking about?
Cash Money is an affiliate of the big bad UMG. You know who runs it? Kanye talked about it. Lucian. That's where he's going with that one.
The destruction of Drake is now a matter of public record. We are no longer just talking about who had the better verses or the more clever dices, because we are now looking at real court filings and corporate recognition. Kendrick Lamar did not just win a rap beef, since he completely broke Drake's psyche to the point where the man is willing to sue his own bosses. Losing a battle and going back to the drawing board for a new hit is normal, but trying to litigate your way out of a cultural eviction is pathetic. Drake is basically telling on himself by admitting his music can't do the heavy lifting anymore, so he is hunting for legal loopholes to snatch back a win. Seeing a superstar of this level get this desperate is nasty work, and it proves the OVO brand is currently crashing out in real time. The whole industry is watching a guy who used to run every headline become a bystander in his own collapse as he tries to fight a war that ended months ago. Suing Universal Music Group makes it obvious he has zero allies left in the corporate offices where he used to be the golden child. This whole move isn't about transparency or helping independent artists, because it is just about a man who can't deal with the fact that he is not the main character anymore. It is crazy to watch someone who bragged about his business ties for a decade suddenly act like a victim of the same machine he helped build.
Try cease and desist on the Like That record? Ho, what? You ain't like that record?
Try cease and desist on the Like That record.
He wants to play the rebel fighting a rigged game, but we all know he only started crying once the game stopped being rigged in his favor. This is the perfect picture of a cultural eviction, because Kendrick is already living in the master bedroom while Drake is out on the curb with a stack of paperwork. The West Coast is already focused on the future, and the rest of the world is right behind them, which leaves Drake arguing with data and spreadsheets while we all dance to the songs that ended him. Before we see how this lawsuit eventually gets tossed out of court, tell me if you think this move from the sixth guy is a valid fight for transparency or just the biggest case of cope in history. Drop a comment and tell me how you really feel about this situation without any cap. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe so you do not miss the next deep dive into how this industry is changing. Let's keep an eye on how this unfolds as we get closer to that Super Bowl stage in February. The final outcome of this beef was not just about who had the better songs. It was about the total destruction of a brand Drake spent 15 years building. He really believed he was the landlord of hip hop, but it turns out he was just a tenant who overstayed a lease that expired a long time ago.
That you walk, the way that you talk. I hate the way that you dress. That wasn't just hate talk. That was culture talk. That was a man drawing a line between what's real and what's rented.
Kendrick Lamar proved that you cannot sue your way into being the king of the culture or litigate your way back into the hearts of the fans. Drake is left holding court papers while the rest of the world prepares for a performance that will officially close the book on his era. This is the reality of 2024, and no amount of lawyers will change the fact that the crown has moved to Compton for good. Keep it locked to the channel for more updates on this legal disaster, because the responses from Universal and Spotify are going to be absolutely savage.